This is the NewsFeed at 4.
Tragedy in Maine following a mass shooting at a bowling alley in Lewiston. We'll have the latest on this in just a moment as the death toll continues to rise.
And Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton in the news again, but now he's on the offense, taking the Biden administration to court. Plus, it's official, the House of Reps finally has a new speaker. Good afternoon. We're glad you could join us. We start off with breaking news in Maine, where at least 18 people were dead following a tragic mass shooting. As the search continues for the suspect accused of the shootings, residents of the area have been advised to shelter in place. Lewiston police are looking for this man, Robert Card, who state officials say is a certified firearm instructor and a member of the U.S. Army Reserves. Authorities in Maine say the 40-year-old recently reported mental health issues and allegedly made threats to shoot up a National Guard base in the state. The FBI's Boston division says, quote, ready to assist with any available resources.
What a tragedy.
So tragic.
1,000 prayers go out to all of the families in Maine. Let's check in with our TCC tracker as the Women of Color program held their first What Are You event. The Intercultural Network invited students and faculty alike to share their experience with racial ambiguity and held open discussions of their perspectives. Brown and Beasley is the Women of Color co-chair and was the main speaker of the event.
The Women of Color program, it's a part of the Intercultural Network. Come by, everybody is welcome. We had an open forum discussion where we discussed racial ambiguity and learning about different cultural and ethnic backgrounds. It was an amazing discussion, and it was all about remaining open and humble and opening yourself up for opportunities to connect. So I encourage y'all to go by the Intercultural Network. We're always doing events like that. We have an inclusive feminism event coming up this next month, so be looking out for that. The Intercultural Network is in the NSTU, and it's right next to the cafeteria area. The doors are always open and welcome. Jordan is one of the Women of Color co-chairs, and she actually works at the Intercultural Network as well. I was the speaker at the What Are You event this past month, and next week we're going to have a panel of judges to answer questions and give a little bit of history of feminism as well.
For students seeking childcare services, finding the right fit can pose a challenge, especially for those who may not be able to afford the expensive rates many centers charge. The TCC Child Care Assistance Program supports students by providing financial support and other services to those in need. Coordinator Karen Hudo said the program seeks to help students in any way it can, and added, the program's mission is assisting college students so they can stay in school. Those interested in applying must be enrolled in at least 9 credit hours. For more information on eligibility requirements, financial assistance, and access to an online application, students can visit the TCC Child Care Assistance Program webpage.
Wi-Fi network issues for students and faculty are being rectified with new wireless access points installed here on campus. In the first weeks of the semester, one of the running themes in classes, the library, and outer spaces has students and faculty frustrated that the Wi-Fi doesn't stay connected for long periods or lags. Several students said they don't know how to log into the school's Wi-Fi, and others have noticed that connecting to the Wi-Fi was never part of their orientation or emails that they've received. On a brighter note, 6 campus buildings are all working great because of new access points that have been installed.
Let's go with it. Let's stand up. Let's go.
Those are Arlington auto workers walking out on the job as the United Auto Workers expands its strike against General Motors on Tuesday. The plant makes highly profitable SUVs, including the Chevrolet Tahoe and Cadillac Escalade. There is no signs of this strike ending anytime soon. Even if a deal is reached with General Motors, the tentative agreement would still need to be ratified by rank and file members.
Moving over to Michigan, ground zero of these strikes, the UAW and Ford have reached a tentative labor deal. The agreement sets the stage to return 16,000 striking workers to the job within days. In its statement last night, Ford said it was pleased to have reached a tentative agreement. The deal reportedly gives union workers at Ford an immediate 11% pay increase and then pay hikes beginning at 25% over the next 4+ years. The agreement doesn't go into effect until 57,000 rank and file members at Ford vote to ratify the deal, which could take more than a week. On Tuesday, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration for cutting and destroying wire at the U.S.-Mexico border. Paxton claims the federal government illegally destroyed property owned by the state of Texas and disrupted the ability to effectively stop illegal crossings. Paxton also claims a policy was implemented in September by federal agents to make sure the wire was destroyed. He says that then led to and allowed thousands of pounds of fentanyl to enter the country illegally. The list of defendants in the lawsuit include the Department of Homeland Security, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
Coming up next, a Houston man is accused of verbally assaulting a woman after a road rage dispute. Plus, the House of Representatives can be called to order. We'll be right back.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Chaos on Capitol Hill comes to order as House Republicans finally come together to elect a new speaker. Karen Kaifa joins us from Washington with the latest. Karen.
Mike Johnson of Louisiana, the new Speaker of the House, saying this afternoon that the People's House is back in business. The mood among House Republicans in the chamber this afternoon was described as buzzy and jubilant as they finally came to an agreement on a House Speaker after more than 3 weeks. Johnson receiving 220 votes, the unanimous support of Republicans in the chamber, something 3 nominees before him could not do. House Republicans with a vote Wednesday on their 4th nominee to replace Kevin McCarthy as Speaker.
Today is the day that House Republicans will humbly look in our hearts and elect Mike Johnson as Speaker of the People's House.
And this time, closing the deal.
The challenge before us is great, but the time for action is now, and I will not let you down.
Late Tuesday, Louisiana Republican Mike Johnson emerged as the latest pick to wield the gavel after a wild day that saw House Majority Whip Tom Emmer win the nomination and hours later drop his bid, lacking support to win a floor vote. Johnson, an attorney with a focus on constitutional law, was first elected to the House in 2016, serving on the House Judiciary and Armed Services Committees.
Mike Johnson is a good man, and I think as you saw last night, that we are ready for a leader.
He's a tremendous congressman.
An ally of former President Donald Trump, Johnson was a key congressional figure in failed efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries critical of Johnson's record, but open to finding ways to work together.
All Mike Johnson will need to do is to meet us in a bipartisan way, in that fashion, and we'll be able to work together whenever and wherever possible.
Members of both parties eager to get back to work.
We need to get after the mission, and I feel excited that Mike Johnson's the guy that can bring us together and get us back focused on what we said we would do.
And Johnson takes the Speaker's gavel with a little more than 3 weeks to go to avoid a government shutdown. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said this afternoon that he looks forward to sitting down with Johnson and working on a path forward. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Thanks, Karen. We're hoping that path forward leads us in the right direction.
Boston has issued a shelter-in-place order while they search for a man accused of killing his wife who was planning to move to Texas. Brandon Truitt has the story.
This is what investigators have been looking for, the white BMW belonging to Aaron Pennington. The 33-year-old is wanted in connection with the death of his wife on Sunday. Court documents obtained by WBZ say the couple's 4 children notified a neighbor they couldn't find their father and their mother was crying. Police say when they got to the home on Cherry Street, 30-year-old Breanne Pennington was lying dead in her bed. She had been shot in the face. Those records also reveal Breanne was considering moving to Texas with the children, and that Aaron Pennington had been dealing with mental health issues and contemplating suicide. By Monday afternoon, law enforcement descending on the entrance of Camp Collier and Kelton Street, police using canines and helicopters to survey this area.
I'm scared. My daughter's home.
Melissa Zirkle lives just down the street from where the car was found. Her daughter is home alone and was told by police this afternoon to get in the house. This community remains on edge.
It's kind of petrifying, to be honest with you. Like I said, it's fairly quiet around here. People are friendly. You hardly ever see cops on this road.
A woman who claims she was verbally assaulted by a Houston security guard is telling her story. Video of the man using racial slurs has gone viral, and a well-known activist is asking police to investigate. Troy Kless reports.
Shut your but you are trash.
Okay.
Denisha Lewis says she was driving along Airport Boulevard near the Southwest Freeway on Thursday when she says she politely honked at a man on a motorcycle who wasn't moving after a green light, then passes around him.
He accelerates his gas, comes to from the right lane and punches my rear mirror, my side mirror.
She says this is some of the damage from the punch. Lewis says she then saw the man pull into this convenience store.
I politely walked in. I parked right next to his motorcycle. I walked in. I said, "Excuse me, sir. Did you just punch my mirror?" He said, "F you, you B word."
All right.
Keep talking.
I will.
Okay.
She says she started recording on Snapchat, which didn't capture the entire exchange, and the man, who we're not identifying because he has not been charged with a crime, repeatedly uses racial slurs. Lewis says before she left, the man spit on her. The video has gone viral on Instagram and TikTok.
This man is a danger to society. He's already demonstrated that he will commit a hate crime against an African American and using racist, hateful language toward a female, spit on her, walking around with a gun.
Community activist Quanell X claims the man works for a private security group, though the company on social media issued a statement saying the man was a temporary employee and, quote, "We have had no contact with him since early August." Lewis says she filed a report with the Stafford Police Department. They also want the Fort Bend County District Attorney to investigate.
But we want law enforcement to make those final conclusions also through a thorough and proper investigation into this matter, because we do believe he committed a hate crime.
The friendly skies almost turned deadly. We'll explain. But when we return, Trang will have our Rangers World Series forecast, and she'll let us know if our rain chances increase.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Need a ride? Yeah!
Driving with kids is a big responsibility.
Hop in and buckle up!
So don't sweat the small stuff.
You got paint all over our paper!
Get the big stuff right instead.
What does that mean?
Like making sure your kids are in the correct car seat and buckled up for safer travel.
That deserves a wiggly wiggly wig.
To make sure your child is in the right seat for their age and size, visit NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat.
Beep, beep. Yeah.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Welcome back to the NewsFeed, everyone. We are currently at 81 degrees right now with a 60% chance of rain. So just like yesterday, we are going to be seeing some scattered thunderstorms. So if you haven't gotten it in your area yet, just be prepared and pack an umbrella because you may see it throughout the week, throughout the day. And right now, like I said, we're at 81 degrees in Fort Worth, 78 degrees in Dallas for the Metroplex. And for the rest of the evening tonight, we have from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. mid-70s, so very comfortable, cool weather. Going into the weekend, we are going to be experiencing some thunderstorms, thunder showers, and for Friday, Saturday, very comfortable weather for the Rangers World Series games. Just going to have some of that rain at 60 and 80% chance, with Sunday for the Cowboys game 80% as well. Going into next week, we are finally feeling that fall weather. So 48 degrees for Monday, and for Halloween trick-or-treating, we're looking at 54 degrees with a low of 35. So make sure to pack something comfortable and warm for your kiddos to wear when you take them out. And for the rest of the week leading into the weekend, you're seeing that we're getting a little bit warmer. And Sunday, we're ending next week with 66 degrees for that Cowboys game.
Thanks, Trang. Disaster was averted at Houston Hobby Airport yesterday. The FAA tells us a private jet that had not been given permission to take off did so anyway. Video shows the wing of the jet ended up slamming into the tail section of another small plane that had just landed on an intersecting runway. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the NTSB is investigating. The off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot accused of trying to cut off a plane's engine mid-flight told police he took, quote, magic mushrooms 48 hours before the incident. Joseph Emerson also told investigators he believed he was dreaming and thought pulling the handles of a fire extinguishing system would cause him to wake up. According to a separate federal court document, Emerson also said he had been awake for 40 hours. During the incident, Emerson was subdued by members of the flight crew, but then attempted to grab the handle of an emergency exit during the flight's descent. The plane diverted to Portland, Oregon, where Emerson told a police officer he became depressed about 6 months ago.
An Atlanta area Dunkin' franchise is paying a woman $3 million to settle a lawsuit over hot coffee that fell on her lap. The unnamed woman alleged the February 2021 incident caused severe burns and life-altering injuries. She claimed it happened because the cup's lid was not secured. Her attorney said the lid came off after she was given the drink, and the coffee spilled on her lap, causing second and third degree burns to her thighs, groin, and abdomen. The injury resulted in her spending weeks in a burnt unit, costing her $2,000 in medical expenses.
Joel is next with your Timeline Sports. Keep it right here.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September. I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs. And that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. As veterans, we can tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. But you've never been interested in easy. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
The assault case against Marvel actor Jonathan Majors will go to trial. A New York judge denied a motion to dismiss the charges related to a dispute with his former girlfriend, Grace Jabari. Jabari alleges Majors struck her, quote, about the face with an open hand, causing substantial pain and laceration behind her ear. Major has maintained his innocence, and his attorney says Majors is the real victim in this ordeal. Trial is set to begin the end of November. In New York City, a customer got trapped inside a bank vault and ended up spending the night. The vault is located in the basement of the World Diamond Tower in Manhattan. The customer was accessing his safety deposit box after 7 p.m. Tuesday when employees closed the vault door, not knowing the man was still inside. Fire officials said once the vault is closed, it cannot be reopened until morning. First responders did try to cut through the vault's concrete wall, but they hit metal plating. They told the man he would have to wait until the vault automatically unlocked on a timer. He was set free after nearly 12 hours.
A long-lost couple interrupted by the Korean War has been reunited 70 years after they met. Drew Mickelson was there for their reunion in Washington State on Monday.
Did you sleep last night?
Oh, yeah. It's like Christmas morning, a birthday party, and the first visit from the Tooth Fairy, all in one.
I think about her all the time.
Everyone at Revel Issaquah has been looking forward to this day.
Claude has a very special guest coming over.
But no one has waited as long as Claude.
I have not seen her since 1958. That's her. She won the prettiest lady on campus when she went to college. And they would bus the girls up to Fort Devens for dances. And that's how I met her.
Claude and Marita spent just 4 weekends together in 1953, right before he shipped off to Germany with the Army. They never talked again until Claude found Marita's phone number in 2009.
I said, you can't guess who this is. She said, Claude Frabel? Amazing. And she had remembered my voice for that length of time.
They chatted regularly and exchanged pictures of their families, but haven't seen each other since the 1950s.
She just is flying in right now to SeaTac.
Claude landed this special date thanks to help from his independent living community. Marita lives at Revel in Scottsdale, Arizona, and the company paid for this reunion.
70 years of anticipation.
And after all that waiting, Marita showed up 20 minutes early.
That's what you're waiting for.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Hold on. I gotta put a microphone on you.
Even the guest of honor can't wait.
Hold on.
Did you see how excited she was?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is cute. Hey, Claude.
It's time.
Your sweetheart's here.
Finally.
Let's go get her.
It's happening.
Welcome, welcome.
It's been a lifetime. A moment.
It's kind of exciting.
Where's Claude?
7 decades in the making.
I really am trying not to cry. I know you do.
Oh, God. So good to see you. Oh, what a beautiful.
Oh, it's sweet. It's a sweet story. They haven't seen each other in 70 years. Yeah.
Their spouses have passed. They have grandchildren. Marita survived brain and lung cancer.
Well,
so much to talk about.
I was so fortunate to, a little old farm kid from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, he was a tall and very handsome and a good dancer.
This story will not end with a wedding. These two long-lost lovers are going to keep things simple and just stay friends.
I'm just glad to see him again. And the fact that we are both
This is the happiest day of my life.
Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
What a fantastic story. And I got another fantastic story for you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, your Texas Rangers are going to the World Series. On Monday, the Rangers and the reigning champion Astros went head-to-head in Game 7. Rangers started hot early, scoring 3 runs in the top of the first. Astros answered, only scoring 1 run. After the first inning, it was all Rangers. Garcia, Lowe, and Seager went deep to secure the 11-4 victory and take them to the World Series. This will be their 3rd appearance in the big stage, and they have yet to secure a ring. The Rangers will face the Diamondbacks in a 7-game series. Rangers versus Diamondbacks, Globe Life Field, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Bring home the trophy, Rangers. The Cowboys were able to defeat one of the Los Angeles teams before their bye week and return home. The Cowboys are hoping to achieve the LA sweep as the 3-4 Rams come to Dallas. Cowboys versus Rams, AT&T Stadium, Sunday at noon. The NBA season kicked off this week as your Dallas Mavericks began their season going south to take on the Spurs. Spurs started a rally early, maintaining a lead heading into halftime, but blew it all up in the second half. Doncic and Irving combined to score 55 points, including a last-second three-point dagger by Doncic. Mavs defeated the Spurs 126-119. Their next game will be their home opener against the Nets tomorrow night. A remarkable start of the season for your Dallas Stars. On Tuesday, the Stars faced off Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. Harley, Robertson, Dadonov, and Johnson each scored a goal to secure the victory over the Penguins, with a score of 4-1. Tonight, the Stars hope the Maple Leafs as they hope to continue the 3-game winning streak. And that's your Timeline Sports. The NewsFeed at 4 continues after the break.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Come on! Go, Diane! Yeah, keep it going! Yeah! Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane! Woo! You got this!
All right, I'm in the house.
Okay, what do you see?
Nothing yet. Hold on. I think I just heard something. I'm heading upstairs.
Okay, I am almost there.
I'm in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh, shit. It's not here.
What?
The gun's not here.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Cameron, are you in there? Open the door. Cam! Come on, Cameron.
We all know what it's like to feel alone. But it just takes one new connection. Want to get out of here? To empower many.
This is unbelievable.
It doesn't take a superhero to bring forces together. We all have the power to reach out
Let's go!
and help someone feel like they belong. Pretty cool, huh? We are stronger together.
A chaotic scene unfolds when livestock get loose on a busy road. Patrick Cornell shows us that wild video in Take a Look at This.
Watch as these helpless heifers take a tumble onto the highway, and miraculously, they're reportedly all okay. Sergio Coelho captured the moment cows started crashing out of a trailer in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Cow falling out, that's some Final Destination stuff, man. You don't think about nothing like that.
Ah, Sergio, thank you so much for reminding us of this nightmare. In the video, you can see the animals gathering on the side of the road and the door to the trailer hanging on by a thread. And Sergio, he left the cleanup to the experts.
If I had me a rope, some boots, and my dogs, I'd have yeehawed them home. I tell you that much. But somebody getting fired.
If you thought Smashing Pumpkins was only for teenage ne'er-do-wells and rock bands, think again. These giant elephants at the Oregon Zoo got their chance to ground some gourds into pulp. A real bonding moment as the whole zoo elephant family got in on the fun. Donated by local farmers for the enjoyment of these massive mammals, they certainly put all their weight into the effort. And it turns out, quite the trunkin' treat too. Not quite pumpkin pie, but these animals seem fine eating it raw. The next attraction, a surprise in the sparkling skies. Titled Franchise Freedom, this drone show lit up the night sky over Central Park in New York City. The art performance put on by the Dutch studio Drift meant to mimic the movement of starling flocks, and this aerial extravaganza sure does look cool. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Newsfeed this week, everybody. Have a happy Halloween.
Enjoy your trick-or-treating, Izzy. Enjoy your trick-or-treating, and have an excellent evening.
Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you next week.